Hey guys, it's me, Rick. Your airports are being held hostage, and the people responsible are the same ones who are telling you that they're fighting for the working class. What we're going to go over today is while TSA officers went without paychecks for over a month, while security lines stretched for 3 hours, while hundreds of agents quit and walked off the job, Democrats were busy blocking the very funding that would fix it. And they're doing it because they don't want the SAVE Act passed that will stop illegal aliens from registering and voting. That alone should tell you their motivations for future elections. But Trump just called their bluff in the most unexpected way possible. This video breaks down exactly what happened, who's responsible, and why Democrats didn't see it coming at all. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to RPW Media, where we cut through all the bullshine and tell you what's actually going on. Look, if you like our videos and you haven't done so already, you should become a subscriber to the channel. You can hit the notification bell and smack that like button, and it helps us get our message out to more people, and you'll be notified every time that we put out a new video. And thank you. All right, let's talk about what's happening in Washington right now, because something genuinely unusual went down, and the people who seem the most blindsided by it are Democrats. This is the last thing they thought Trump would ever do. They did not see this coming. On Saturday, President Trump announced a plan that sent a shockwave through the political world. It landed right in the middle of an already explosive fight on Capitol Hill. And just like that, the entire conversation changed. Something is building here, and it's bigger than most people realize. Now, here's what happened. Trump announced that he is ready to send immigration and customs enforcement agents, ICE agents, to airports across the United States. Their mission? Increase security and detain illegal immigrants they encounter. Direct, simple, unapologetic. Trump himself posted it on Truth Social, and I'm going to read this exactly as he wrote it. He said, on Monday, ICE will be going to airports to help our wonderful TSA agents who have stayed on the job despite the fact that the radical left Democrats who are only focused on protecting hardline criminals who have entered our country illegally are endangering the USA by holding back the money that was long ago agreed to with signed and sealed contracts and all. But watch, no matter how great a job ICE does, the lunatics leading the incompetent Dems will be highly critical of their work. They will do a fantastic job. The great Tom Homan is in charge. There's 3 exclamation points, guys. And then he made another point that a lot of people in the media conveniently glossed over. Trump also pointed out that the Democrats want to give the country away to illegals, saying the Democrats want to give our country away to the illegals who they allow to pour through our now very strong border. I won't allow that to happen. The Democrats are grossly incompetent. ICE is ready to go on Monday, today. And when you look at that, you look at what they did during the Biden years, my God, and how they're behaving right now. Who honestly can argue with that? But here's where it gets really interesting, because this story didn't start with Trump's announcement. To understand why this move hit the way it did, you have to rewind a bit. For 36 days, that's over a month, Senate Democrats refused to pass funding for the Department of Homeland Security. The Senate voted on that funding bill 5 separate times. 5. And every single time, Democrats blocked it. Every time. Now, this wasn't some abstract political procedural fight happening behind closed doors in some Senate committee room. This had real-world consequences that real Americans felt in real time. TSA officers, the men and women standing in those security checkpoints every single day, went more than a month without receiving a paycheck. A month. Let's see what happens when Congress goes that long without a paycheck. No paycheck at all. And some of them, understandably, had enough and walked away. At least 366 security officers resigned. 366 agents gone. That is exactly what the Democrats wanted. Their way of negotiation is to make the American people feel the pain of their actions in thinking that the Republicans will cave or at least take the blame. And you better believe the consequences didn't stay behind closed doors. You could see it happening in real time inside the airports. At Houston's airport, for example, more than half of the security staff called out sick on the same day. They just didn't show up. The same thing happened in New York and Philadelphia and other major airports. Travelers in some of these locations were staring down security lines that stretched for 3 hours long. Can you imagine standing in line for 3 hours just to get into a plane? I stood in line for 6 hours to get into a Trump rally, but we had a blast the entire time. All right, I digress. To get through security, I mean, think about that. Here's the part that should make you laugh or cry, depending on your mood. Even CNN admitted that the funding fight in Washington was caused by the disruption of the Democrats' plans. When CNN says Democrats caused the problem, I mean, that's pretty bad for the Democrats. Then something happened that made this whole thing even more interesting. Elon Musk, the Doge master, he reportedly offered to personally cover TSA salaries while Congress continued arguing about funding. Now, you might like Elon, you might not like Elon, but the gesture itself is straightforward. People aren't getting paid, and yet they're working. Let's fix that. Seems simple enough, right? Well, the Democrats rejected it, screaming, ranting, and raving. They said it would violate the law. The same people who spent 4 years waving through policies that genuinely did violate the law, those people are now suddenly very concerned about legal technicalities when someone tries to help unpaid federal workers. Whose side are the Democrats on? And what happened next is what nobody in the mainstream media wants to talk about. Because while Democrats were trying to pressure the administration into making concessions, trying to squeeze some kind of political win out of this mess that they created, Trump responded in a way they absolutely did not expect. He didn't retreat. He didn't negotiate away his priorities. He didn't offer a compromise that would let Democrats save face. He increased the pressure on them. Instead of pulling back on immigration enforcement, he suggested expanding it. He posted a message on Truth Social saying the idea out loud. It was very clear. If Democrats refused to pass DHS funding bills and restore airport security, ICE agents would be deployed to airports across the country. Now, how is that possible? Because ICE was fully paid in the big, beautiful bill. That's why it was big and beautiful. Now, their job, they will help secure the airports and detain illegal immigrants present in the United States at the same time. The message was impossible to misread. Trump is not stepping back. He's stepping forward, and they weren't ready for it. The Dems, they were shocked by it. Now, let's look at the political chessboard here, because this is where it gets genuinely interesting from a strategic standpoint, right? There are two issues sitting side by side now, and Trump just linked them together in one move. Issue one, airport security. Nobody likes a 3-hour security line. Nobody. Doesn't matter you're Democrat, Republican, or someone who doesn't follow politics at all. When you're standing in a line at 5 a.m. trying to catch a flight, you're not thinking about political ideology. You're thinking about, why is this broken and who broke it? Now, issue two, immigration enforcement. Polling repeatedly and consistently shows that a significant portion of Americans support tougher border policies and the deportation of illegal immigrants. And that's not a fringe position. That's a mainstream American position, whatever the media wants to try and tell you. Trump's proposal brings those two issues together in one clean, clear argument. Stronger airport security, stronger immigration enforcement. Two things most Americans already support, packaged into one response to a crisis that Democrats created. And by now, everybody knows the Democrats created it. Now, here's the part that should make every Democrat strategist lose sleep tonight. Democrats are stuck, and I mean genuinely architecturally stuck, because look at their options. Option one, they agree to fund DHS. If they do that, their 36 days of resistance collapse instantly. The political standoff they started, the one they were apparently willing to let TSA workers go without paychecks over, suddenly looks like completely pointless. All right, what was it for? What did they gain? They gained nothing, guys. They fold, and their base wants to know why they spent 5 weeks holding firm just to eventually cave. Option two, they keep blocking the funding. And if they do that, ICE agents potentially show up at airports and become the visible, tangible solution to the security breakdown that Democrats caused. So in that scenario, Americans watching the news see immigration enforcement solving an airport security problem, and the people responsible for the mess are the ones who said no to the funding for TSA. That's a brutal image for any political party to be associated with. Neither outcome works for the Democrats, not even a little bit, not even a tiny little bit. They walked into a corner and Trump just quietly closed the door behind them. And for Trump supporters, and honestly, for a lot of people who just watch how he operates, this move fits exactly what they've come to expect from him. He doesn't negotiate away his core priorities. No way. He doesn't offer the other side a soft landing to make the conflict go away. This is why Democrats and the left hate his guts. His supporters see someone who confronts his opponents directly, who uses pressure rather than retreat, and who finds a way to reframe every fight on terms that favor him. Us. In this case, he didn't suggest reducing enforcement. He suggested increasing it. That's the Trump playbook. And by this point, you'd think Democrats would have figured out how it works. Apparently not. Whether this proposal becomes full official policy or whether it remains part of the negotiation fight going on right now, the effect is already there. You can already see it. The conversation in Washington has just shifted. Airport security, immigration enforcement, and the congressional funding battle are no longer three separate news stories. They're one national debate, and Trump is sitting at the center of it on terms that he alone controls. The ripple effects from that shift, they're only beginning to appear. Here's the bottom line, guys. Democrats spent 36 days blocking DHS funding. TSA workers went without pay. Security lines stretched for hours on end. Hundreds of agents quit. And when given a chance to fix it, Democrats said, no way. 5 times. No way. Trump responded not by backing down, but by turning the screws even harder. And now they're caught between two bad options with no clean exit. The upside? The American public is watching all of this unfold in real time, in airports they use, on lines they stand in, with consequences they feel directly. And when voters can feel a political decision, rather than just read about it, accountability tends to follow. Things are shifting and not in the direction Democrats were hoping for. So tell me what you think in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.